Owens Orton, WrestleMania.
Naomi attacks Jade.
And it looks like we're getting the WrestleMania match we've all been looking forward to. Hello, welcome to Wrestle MSX. I'm Michael.
I'm Sally.
We're hearing voices as Randall Keith Orton kicks us off. And as he raises the mic to his mouth, KO appears at the top of the entranceway. He says he was wrong to attack Orton, but Rhodes and Zayn deserved it. KO will forgive Orton for picking Rhodes' side if he can give KO for what he did to him. Owens claimed he pulled Hayes from the ring last week to save Orton from himself, and that nobody wants to see Orton going back to kicking people in the head. Owens then proposes that they go to WrestleMania and become tag team champions, just out of nowhere. Now that I would like to see. Far more interesting than the tag teams at the moment. Sorry guys. Orton tells Owens to shove his apology up his behind and adds he's going to kick KO's head off his shoulders in Vegas. So KO versus RKO at WrestleMania. Gotta be, innit?
Gotta be. Tag action now as Damian Priest and Jimmy Uso take on Shinsuke Nakamura and Drew McIntyre. Priest meets Drew halfway up the rampway as the two brawl before the bell. We do eventually get underway with Drew and Jimmy. Drew coming out on top before we hit a break. We come back and see Jimmy Samoan drop Drew, with Drew then tagging out, allowing Nakamura to enter the fight. Jimmy gets to Priest though, who lights up Shinsuke before his crossbody from the top rope. Priest goes for a cover off a clothesline, but only gets a 2 as Drew breaks the cover.
Jimmy then takes out Drew, with Shinsuke then taking out Jimmy. This leaves Priest to south of Heaven Nakamura and cover him for the win. After the match, McIntyre attacks Priest, really laying into him with blows to the head. McIntyre finishes the onslaught with a claymore, telling Priest he'll put him down every time he gets up until he stays down.
We see LA Knight next, speaking with Braun Strowman, and he says he'll keep his eye on his match with Jacob Fatu, because they, Bloodline 2.0, like to work with numbers. Strowman says that Nick Aldis said the winner of the match gets a shot at Knight's US belt.
Next, we get a split-screen interview between Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair. Flair says she picked Stratton because she felt sorry for her, and that WrestleMania 41 will be her pinnacle. She adds Stratton will be lucky to have a job when she's her age. Stratton says the WWE Universe doesn't bow to Flair anymore. They run on Tiffy time. There was the odd occasion they spoke over one another, but nothing much to see here.
Jacob Fatu versus Braun Strowman now in a supposed #1 contenders match for the United States Championship. They circle each other to begin with before we get into it. Strowman taking down Fatu before back body dropping him and then sending him over the top rope. Strowman conducts the crowd, gets in the ring and runs at Jacob like a train.
What, like a Strowman Express?
Yes, exactly like that. Only as he nears Jacob, the Samoan ends up sending the monster over the announcer's desk.
We're back in the ring after a break with Jacob Samoan dropping and then sentoning Strowman before covering for 2. Braun absorbs a hip attack and then launches himself at Fatu with a jumping clothesline of sorts. Strowman then gets his train up and running, knocking Fatu over the announcer's desk before heading back in the ring and delivering a spinebuster to Fatu. Tama Tonga then makes an appearance, but as Strowman's about to throw him out the ring, Sikoa attacks the big man from behind, the ref calling for the bell. Fatu questions why they're there while Solar and Tama continue to beat on Strowman. All three then get on Strowman, with LA Knight then heading out for the save. Cannon Fodder Tonga gets dealt with first, with Knight getting in the ring and taking on both Solo and Fatu. Tama comes back, but to no avail, as the faces come out on top. With Braun winning via DQ, he will now face Knight for the US title next week in London, baby! That's for all you Austin Powers fans out there. You won't get that anywhere else.
Backstage we see Kathy Kelly now, and she's with Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan. She asks Liv why she still has an issue with Jade. Morgan says that she could have cleared their names when she knew it was Naomi that attacked her, but didn't. Liv says she's now going to finish the job that Naomi couldn't.
We see Jacob Fatu wrecking backstage, seemingly annoyed with Solo for interrupting his match. Solo says he thought he needed his help. Jacob says he didn't and to keep out of his business.
Piper Niven versus Zelina Vega next. Green and fire with Niven. Slow. Real slow. Niven overpowered Vega, with Vega getting the odd kick or punch in. We get a headbutt from Niven and then strutting around for 30 seconds. Niven goes for a press slam, but Vega counters into a sleeper. A second rope, Meteora and satellite DDT can't get the win for Vega. Zelina hits a 619, but then gets flattened by a flying crossbody by Niven, who then covers and pins for the 1-2-3. This was a hard watch, I thought.
Yeah, it was boring. Sorry if you're fans of them, but this was a little boring. We get a recap of John Cena and Cody from Monday, and are then told it will be, surprise, surprise, Orton versus Owens at WrestleMania, which we literally just told you moments ago, and I also called this.
Yes.
A long time ago,
yeah.
So if you want to know what's happening, you watch us.
Kathy Kelly backstage with Jade Cargill, and she asks her if she's ready to take on Liv Morgan. Jade pretty much says yeah, and then when she's done with Liv, Naomi is next. All words to that effect.
We get another Smoky 4 vignette with what also looked like a 3 appearing behind it. Before we head to our next match, Liv Morgan versus Jade Cargill. Rodriguez with Morgan. Liv looks for Oblivion early after being big booted by Cargill, but Cargill blocks it, performs a fall away slam and then kips up while Morgan regroups on the outside. Liv decides she's had enough, so heads up the rampway, but Cargill goes after her and throws her back in the ring. Jade nearly picks up the win after powerbombing Morgan and getting a 2. Rodriguez then distracts Jade, allowing Liv to hit a backcracker and then throws her adversary into the ring post.
We come back from a break to find Cargill locked in a sleeper and then hit with the 3 amigos before Liv goes for Oblivion again. Jade catches her though and counters into a German suplex before then going on the offense and giving Morgan a beatdown and covering for 2. As Jade seems to be setting up for Jaded, Naomi appears on the apron distracting her. Cargill goes for Naomi, but Naomi jumps down allowing Morgan to go for Oblivion. Cargill stops it with a backbreaker and then goes for Naomi again. This time she gets her, but Naomi clocks Jade with the title, the ref's distracted by Rodriguez, by the way, obviously.
What a surprise.
And knocks her out. 1 Oblivion later, and it's all over. Liv covers and gets the win. After the match, Naomi gets in the ring and pulverises Cargill, eventually knocking her off the apron into the announcer's desk.
Nice to see Naomi on the front foot.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, she's got beef with Jade. Now she's taking it to her.
Yeah, she can't be running away.
No, good to see. Backstage, again, Kathy Kelly catches up with Drew as he's leaving. He probably just wants to go home. And she asks, where does this end? The attacks on Priest, that is. Drew says he didn't start this, but sure as hell will end it. And then tells Priest he knows where he can find him next week. London. As Drew walks off, he comes across Seth, who has indeed made it to SmackDown, although in his pyjamas.
The new tag team champions came out next for a celebration, and after a little hug, Legado del Fantasma head out. Santos says they're ready to take the titles off them when they get interrupted by the Yes Boys!
Yes, boy!
Fantasma seems to think they can jump the queue, but the Profits remind them that PD are the number 1 contenders, and then offer Garza a match for right now.
We head to a break, see another vignette for Phoenix, well, either that or Shayna Baszler's changed her gimmick. Come back and see the tag match is already underway. Ford was in control of Angel until he managed to tag Humberto, who then took it to Montez. Garza then exchanged tags, isolating Ford, but Ford ducks an impending attack, leaps for Dawkins, and makes it. Dawkins takes out Berto, but as he heads for the ropes, Santos pulls it down, sending Dawkins to the outside. Berto dies after him, and we hit a break as Los Garza pose on the outside.
Back from the break, Angel has Dawkins all tied up, with the two then exchanging tags multiple times before hitting a Garza special and covering. Ford breaks the cover, saving his partner. Dawkins, of course, eventually gets away, tagging in Ford. Ford does his thing with both heels before superplexing Berto and covering for 2. Dawkins comes back in, dives out the ring at all 3 members of Legado del Fantasma and rolls Angel back into the ring. As Dawkins dived out the ring, Ford tagged his back, making him the legal man. With Angel in the ring, Ford mounts the top rope and hits a huge frog splash and covers for the 1, 2, 3.
In a stairwell now, I mean, why not? And DIY say they'll make sure Pretty Deadly beat the Street Profits in their tag title match next week, if in return they let DIY get first crack at the tag titles. No boy, comes the reply from PD before heading off. Motor City Machine Guns then roll up saying, welcome to the back of the line, before heading upstairs. I don't know where they're going.
The OTC makes his way out next, followed by his wise man, Paul Heyman. He says CM Punk screwed him at the Royal Rumble, so that's why he screwed him last week at the Garden. Roman then went on saying that last month Seth tried to kill him, but said it was okay as he tried to kill Seth last week at the Garden.
Oh, that's all right then.
Reigns says he's going to take his time and be out here for at least another 15 or 20 minutes. So if anybody wants to come out and confront the tribal chief, let him know. But be quick, as there's actually only 10 minutes left of the show. Burn It Down then fires up and Seth Rollins heads out.
Seth tells Reigns he messed up and doesn't understand how dangerous CM Punk is and should have left him finish him when he had the chance. Then says it's not about Punk, it's about you and me. We can't coexist in the same space at the same time. Our story has a lot of pages and I think it's about time we added another chapter. Seth starts to remove his pyjamas but gets stopped by a cult of personality blaring out.
Punk makes his way down to the ring, says neither Seth nor Reigns have beaten him without the other one's help. He says Reigns wouldn't have made it to the Rumble if he hadn't have saved his family's backside in War Games. Punk then mentions he's owed a favour, with Heyman mouthing, now. No, not now, replies Punk, but before we get to the favour, I just want to thank you for delivering your tribal chief on a silver platter for me right here tonight. I appreciate it. Reigns, looking confused, turns and looks at Heyman, with Punk then jumping down from the turnbuckle and attacking Roman from behind. As the two scuffle on the mat, Seth jumps in and rounds on Punk, with Roman then pulling Seth away from Punk to start on him again. This continues a few more times until refs and backstage hands head out and break it all up. Punk points at Rollins and Reigns and then up to the WrestleMania sign before everyone ends up nicely outside the ring in a group, allowing Seth to dive out at them. Seth then points at Reigns and Punk and then the WrestleMania sign.
Where this is going.
Before Reigns levels Punk and Seth with the ring steps and then, yes, you've guessed it, points at the WrestleMania sign and nods. SmackDown goes off the air with the three of them still fighting.
So I think this one was called quite early on in the year that those three would be possibly facing off. So somebody's leaked something, they've got that right. So,
I think it's going to happen.
Yeah, well, neither of them are involved in a title shot or title match, and you can't really have three of your biggest names
not there
in the industry not there. So so I know, let's put them all together in one big match. Yeah, I mean Piper and Vega was a bit. You could skip that. It was, I mean, the crossbody that she hit Vega with to level her. Oh, it was just squashed it. And then and Owens and Orton. I think we kind of saw that.
Once kind of like Orton came back, that was because obviously he went to attack.
That was pretty much set.
Kind of like,
but then, as I've said before, once it's over, and I'm assuming Orton's going to win. I mean, he's got to win any, because then that kind of finishes that story. Yeah. They've all been involved with Owens and who Owens has crossed. So I think Owens will probably lose, and then he'll have to start on a new trajectory somewhere. I mean, how did he get to Bologna? Was he in his car?
He just drove all the way.
Just drove all the way. You can't actually drive it all the way, just in case you think you can. That's from America, not from Spain, obviously. But all in all, yeah, I mean, I like that. I mean, the tag thing, I can still this scene being a 5-team ladder match.
Still hoping.
I mean, DIY is still there,
still hanging
trying to pull the strings
on the steps.
Motor City Machine Guns are bumping into them. Got the no boys and not the yes boys. It was they're still kind of all together, aren't they? It's not just branched off just a couple of them or anything. Anyway, if you enjoyed what we did, give us a subscribe. If you didn't, just do it anyway.
Any thoughts or views that you'd like to share, then please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below.
Don't forget to go and check out our musings video, where we've actually called a lot of these things right in those videos, and leave your thoughts and opinions if you don't mind on that. Thank you again for watching.
And we'll see you Tuesday for Raw.